Street Talking Other Stuff, Mad Dog Magnotti. Welcome to 2026. It's a brand new year, and I hope that this year is filled with love, peace, prosperity, and fulfillment for you. I really do. It's an interesting time in our country. We are facing challenges. I hope everybody will take good stock of their values and their principles, do some good self-examination, and be ready to move forward to make this country what it should be, to fulfill the ideals that we have. Now, I really didn't plan to go into all that today. I'm not going to talk about politics, but I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate the fact that you're good Americans and you want this country to be what it's made out to be. But I have got a really good guest today. I've looked forward to having this gentleman on. He's been on before. It's always good to have him back again. But hey, Street Talking Other Stuff, we're going to do a good show for you today, so stick around. We will be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Street Talking Other Stuff, and I am proud to introduce again somebody I'm happy to call a friend, proud to call a friend, and somebody who is an instrumental person of importance in our community. Victor Estrada. Victor, yes you are, buddy.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Or nice to be back, Mike.
It's good. It's good to be here. I think this is the third or fourth time you've been on.
I think the fourth, maybe the fifth. So. Yeah,
okay.
I was trying to count that earlier this morning. I couldn't count it up, though.
But it's always worthwhile because you've got an incredible story, and I think I've told you this. If people come to me and say, do you know a good speaker for our service club, or I always tell them to call you. Yeah. So if you get these calls and you don't want them, you can blame me for it. Okay?
No, I like doing stuff like that. It's been a while, though.
Okay, so tell us about yourself. Okay, for some people this may be the first time, but in other people just a reminder.
So just a little bit about me. I'm a person in long-term recovery, which that means to me is I haven't picked up or used drugs or alcohol in over 10 years, 9 months, and some days.
Good. Love a recovery story.
Yeah.
Proud of you, buddy.
It's a little bit, I in the past I was a menace to this town. Made the police department make their paychecks, earn their paychecks. And then back in 2015 I decided it was time for change. I wanted to find my purpose in life, and I found it, because of recovery.
Right. And I remember you telling me that prison wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, no, prison.
And I said, prison was fun. You said, you're a guy like me.
It used to be, you know, and it changed. You know, it also helped me change.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not wanting to have to go back to, you know, being told what to do, when to eat, when to sleep, you know, when I had to go make movements. You know, it was just old. It got old. I was getting old.
Yeah.
You know, so changes need to happen.
So how long ago was it when you were inside?
I got out of prison June of 2014.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
12 years then.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
And how long was it after that you got clean?
Less than a year later.
Okay.
I got clean March 26, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there was some sort of mind shift with you. You said yourself, you got tired of this lifestyle. Why don't you give us some, describe that for
Man,
us.
I got tired of being away from my family. I got tired of not having real friends. I got tired of, you know, just like the simple life, right? At 40 years old, it was like, man, you're 40 years old, you have absolutely nothing in life but a duffel bag full of clothes, you know, and my family still loved me regardless.
Sure.
But it was just like, I want more in life. Now, how do I get it? You know, so, you know, I got involved in a 12-step program, you know, and people like loved me till I can learn how to love myself.
Yeah,
you know.
Okay. But you recommend a 12-step program, right?
Yeah,
very much so.
I mean, I wish everybody in the world worked 12 steps. You know, whichever path it's on is like just learning how to live differently, finding a trust in a higher power. You know,
Sure.
Learning how to live through resentments and recognize them, and then making amends to people and society. You know, and then helping other people along the way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Being there for an asset.
Yeah.
Now, part of the 12-step program is to get a sponsor.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I think I've told you this. I grew up with AA.
Yeah.
You know, 12-step program, probably very similar to NA, right? That type of thing. And you mentioned your sponsor. I want to ask you, how many people are you sponsored for?
I sponsor around 30 men.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
About half of that is actively working a program.
Right. Okay, so and they stay pretty much in touch with you, that type of thing?
Yeah, we go to meetings together, we go to out-of-town trips together.
Okay.
You know, we work together, you know, to help change their lives, you know, but with helping them helps me.
Yeah.
You know, helping them helps me more
Sure.
than they think that it helps
Sure.
me, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's not just a one-way process, you know, you get to help somebody else like find themselves, but at the same time you get to recognize pieces of them that are a part of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a sponsor's role?
Sponsor's role is to guide somebody through the steps. That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Okay, and what are you supposed to do? What motivates you to contact a sponsor? Okay.
Mine, I contact mine is to, you know, whenever I'm going through life's troubles, whenever I'm
Right.
having good moments in life. You know, it's not just about like, hey, I'm struggling. It's like, hey, man, my life's going really good, and this is what's going on.
Sure.
You know, it's more than just like these are my problems. You know, but it's just somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, what I can tell you about a sponsor is that they're not counselors. They're just people with lived experience.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like the role of my job. It's like I'm not a counselor. I'm not a sponsor at work. I'm just a person with lived experience who's been through, you know, hard times in life, and I show people how to find a new way to live.
Sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes the experience people are going through really isn't all that huge to somebody who isn't coming out. And I think I've told you this story before. A guy I knew on the street back when I was a cop, got close to, friends with, major alcohol problem, drugs too, but alcohol was the primary. Got clean, was doing great, got his job back, et cetera, doing everything. Got married, and I stopped off to see him, and I could tell he and his wife were having a spat. You know, they weren't arguing in front of me, but you know what it's like when there's tension.
Yeah.
And that really worried me when I left, because this was something that I don't know if he knew how well to handle, and that it happens with everybody, yada, yada. But within a week, he was back drunker than I ever seen him before. Now, I don't know exactly if it was the problems with his wife, but I do strongly suspect, though, it was just the issues that all of us deal with on a day-to-day basis, that sometimes the person in recovery just coming out of it doesn't have any experience with.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, just for me, like at 40 years old, not knowing how to live life, you know, it was new to me, right? Like, how do I get a bank account? How do I get a car? How do I get a car? How do I get car insurance? How do I get, you know, all these things that a normal person does on a daily basis, right? We celebrate that stuff in recovery, right?
Yeah.
If somebody gets their driver's license and they share about it in the meeting, we clap for them. Like, nobody does that when you're 16 years old and you tell everybody, oh, I got a permit, or, you know, I'm getting my license.
No, it actually scares everybody to death.
But it's like, that's normal life stuff that people that are in recovery like never have experienced.
Right.
So we make it it's a proud moment in life. Like, I didn't get my license till I was 34 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I drove for a long time, but I never had a license. But it's like, in recovery, when you celebrate these milestones, you know, it's just like these big achievements. You know, it's nothing to anybody in the real world, right? So it's like, I don't know. For me, I stay around people in recovery to get the support that I need, but also to support others.
Right.
You know, achievements. You know, just little things like getting a job and having a job for a year, you know, being able to get some vacation time, you know, going on your first vacation, you know, it just makes a big difference.
You know, I remember years ago when you posted something about that on Facebook, that you were going on, I think it was the first vacation, it was a paid vacation for you. You and Katie, your wife.
Yeah, I mean, and now we travel all the time. You know, it's like we just went to Maui. You know, we've been to DC. We've been to Florida.
Okay.
You know, we've been to San Diego. We've traveled all these places, and it's like just the other day, you know, I just finally got a passport.
Really?
You know, yeah, I got it in the mail, and I was so excited. You know, like, man, they gave me a passport. Like, I can travel.
Man, look at me. I'm a responsible citizen.
There's certain countries I can't go to, you know, but it's okay. You know, one day you like to go to Canada, you have to file for like a pass to go there because, you know, I'm a convicted felon.
Right.
You know, and if they don't want me, then that's okay. Then I just guess I don't get to see your country.
There's nothing in Canada. There's nothing in Canada.
It's beautiful up there. Everything I've seen in pictures looks beautiful. That's why I want to go.
Do you ski?
No.
Because there's nothing in Canada.
My wife wants me to learn how to snowboard, though. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I keep saying I'm going to attempt it every year, and I just haven't done it because I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I like my knees the way they are.
I'm too old to get hurt.
I got a lot of friends who ski and ride mountain bikes, and they're always talking about their injuries. I say, man, I'm laying on the couch reading a book. Nothing happens to me. But something you mentioned I think is important. Finding things to do.
Yeah.
Other than, like I said to you earlier, I ask people that I meet in recovery, what do you do for fun? And they go, well, to them, fun is getting loaded. You know, they got to find something that's fun in the straight life, and there are many, many things.
Yeah, no, it's difficult, right? When you've lived a certain lifestyle for so long. Like, you know, for me, fun used to be, you know, going to bars and getting drunk, and then going and doing drugs afterwards. And now it's like fun for me. Like on just this last New Year's Eve, I got the opportunity to speak at an event for New Year's Eve.
Right.
And I was back at the house by 10 o'clock at night, and at midnight we're watching the fireworks show on TV, and I was okay with that. Like, I was content, I was happy, I was with my wife, I was with some friends, you know, and it felt good to be home, to be safe, you know, and not have to worry about getting arrested, getting a DUI, nothing like that.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, when I used to talk to guys in the jail, they would say, well, it wasn't my fault because this guy had a warrant. I said, buddy, nobody gets in my car has got a warrant. You know, it's just, there's nothing wrong with this town. You know, it's a good town. You just need to be in the right parts of this town, not just physically. You know what I mean? So cool. So what, you know, the group you're with, Make Recovery Epidemic. I don't know if you really call it a group.
It's not a group. It started off just as a slogan. Well, I was at a meeting, a board retreat, and somebody was talking about, you know, the opioid epidemic, how all funding was going towards the opioid epidemic, and they were like, what about the crack epidemic? What about, you know, the coke epidemic? And I was like, I'm like, well, so what do we do? And they're like, why don't we make recovery the epidemic? And so that just like, I hashtagged it, put it on social media, made some sweatshirts, you know, used the funding that I made off the sweatshirts to get people into housing.
You made some hats too.
Yeah, right? Hats, beanies, you know, sweatshirts, like joggers for women. Like I just made all these different products, and I used all the money that was coming out of that and just putting it into an account. And I was buying people shoes when they were getting out of prison, or buying them their first meal, you know, paying for their first month's rent in an Oxford house. You know, I used the money to help other people, that didn't have the funding to get the help that they needed,
Okay.
right? Because that's always been like a big barrier for people, right? Like you asked me, one of the questions that you sent me was like, what do we need more of, right?
Yeah,
And we need more housing, right? For recovery housing, people coming off the streets, people coming out of jail, people coming out of prison. You know, we only have so many recovery houses in the valley, you know, and you know, I'm also alumni for Oxford, so I'm always trying to help Oxford House too.
Right, right.
So it's always trying to find funding for housing, or people that are willing to rent their houses out to an Oxford House organization.
Sure.
So we can have enough housing. You know, that's always been like the biggest issue is housing.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk more in a minute, but we're talking about Victor Estrada. Victor is a person who has been in recovery. He's an ex-con. He is an incredible human being, okay? I mean, I admire the hell out of you, okay? I really do, okay? But he's got a good story to tell. We're going to talk some more about what he's currently doing and some of the other issues that we're facing here in this community that maybe you can help with. But hey, street talk and other stuff. You stick around. We will be right back.
It's time for BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 16, with your host, Mike Mitchell.
The winter prep sports season is here, and NCW Life Channel has you covered. Follow the Cashmere Bulldogs, Eastmont Wildcats, and Wenatchee Panthers right here. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Global Car Care, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, and Valley Tractor. Follow the action all winter long on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Okay, we're back. Street talk and other stuff. Talking with Victor Estrada. Victor, what have you? Okay, tell us about your role in the community, work-wise. You know, I know that you're big with supporting other people in recovery and meetings, that type of thing. You post a lot on Facebook, which I follow all the time. But what do you do? What's your day job?
So my day job is. So I worked for the Women's Resource Center for 8.5 years, and then my contract ended, and I transferred over to Cafe.
Okay.
Cafe is a big organization, well, a bigger nonprofit, you know, more employees, more staff, you know, and they work in a lot of different fields, but they were the house for the Recovery Navigator program. And so when I came over from the WRC, I was still doing the same work as an in-custody recovery coach.
Okay.
But I came in as the lead recovery coach in custody, and then some changes happened in the organization, and I became the lead of the Recovery Navigators and in custody recovery coaches. So
okay, well, tell us quickly what the Recovery Navigators are.
So the Recovery Navigators is a program designed to intercept people that are pre-arrest, right? Somebody's going to get arrested, they get caught with some drug paraphernalia or some drugs on them because the law's changed. You know, instead of them going to jail, they're given an opportunity to go into treatment or get into housing, inpatient, outpatient, whatever we can get them into, whatever they're willing to do. And then the in-custody part is people that are already in custody. We go in there and work with them and try to get them, whether it's treatment, you know, housing, long-term treatment, whatever they want to do. We're trying to help them find a path.
Right.
So when they get out there, it's not just part of that same recidivism rate. That
they don't go right back into the life they had before, and they don't know anything else. Right?
Yeah, because most people get out of jail, and if there's no resources there, what are they going to do? They're just going to continue to repeat over and over again. It's kind of like what I was doing. In my active addiction was get out of jail, nowhere to go, nothing to do.
Right.
I'm going to go get loaded, or I'm going to go get some drugs, and I'm going to go sell some drugs. So we try to intercept people and catch them before they continue on that cycle.
Okay, all right. So that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay, and Cafe and Northwest Family Services has moved into the old community. Action building down on. You're in my hood now.
Yeah, 620.
You're my homie now.
Yeah, we can do some graffiti cleanup.
Good, I hope so.
We moved into the new facility. I want to say December 1st. All of the recovery navigators and coaches and Northwest Families all downstairs, and then the rest of the Cafe organization is upstairs.
Okay.
And it is nice, right? We're in a bigger space, and now people have access to us where they can actually come to the office. We can set them down inside, do an intake with them and get them the services.
You got a good parking lot too.
We need a bigger one already.
All right. So what else are you doing?
And then I also work part-time for Chelan County. I help run the community recovery program, which is a house that people go to if they don't have nowhere to go. We try to get them housed in there, keep an eye on them, make sure they're doing the same thing, pretty much doing the same thing in both organizations, right? Just trying to help people, man. It's like one of my questions when I was locked up all the time. I used to pace my cell, and I would ask my higher power, like, what's my destiny? Like, what's my plan? And I never got an answer. Then I got into recovery, and something told me to help people.
You found the answer.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of us ask that question, what's my plan? And we shouldn't be looking outside. We should be looking in here. And I think that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing for the last over 9 years, almost 10 years, right? Is helping people. And it started off doing, working in transitional housing, the homeless outreach with the WRC. And then from homeless outreach, started doing recovery coaching about almost 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then that's what I'm doing today, man, is just trying to help people find a better way to live.
Okay. Now, your most important role, though, if I asked Katie, what kind of husband are you, what would she tell me? What would she say?
She would say that she would definitely say I'm a good husband, right? We're still married. Yeah. So, my wife, though, man, has been like one of the things that she does for me is she makes sacrifices, right? I'm a very, very busy individual.
Yeah.
Right.
She's got to share you with a lot of people.
Yeah. Not only do I do the work that I do, I'm also on the World Council for Oxford House. I'm alumni for Oxford House. Mm-hmm. So I go to state meetings. I go to state conventions, world conventions, and the cool thing is she gets the opportunity to go with me to these places if she wants to go. Yeah. She's very supportive, and right now we're working on, trying to get into our own house, and that's like a huge accomplishment, something that I've done all the other stuff, right?
You probably never would have dreamed this is a possibility.
I would have never thought I would have a healthy relationship, a beautiful wife. I never thought that any of those things were possible for me. Yeah. Because I never knew how to live a normal life. Yeah. And I don't think that I live a normal life. I live a life better than what I was living.
Right. Now, how long have you been married?
We've been married, it'll be 4 years in
cool.
March. Yeah. Okay. We've been together, it'll be 8 years in February that we've been together.
Yeah, I'd love to meet her sometime. She seems like a really sweet gal. And then I'm going to ask her herself, and say, hey, tell me the truth, Katie. Come on, it's just,
Yeah, no, she obviously loves me because she's still here, and
I never would have asked you that question if I thought for a minute.
Yeah, no, my wife is awesome. She also works in human services, right? She works with veterans, so she does.
Does she? Okay, what does she do with veterans?
So she works for Hope Source.
Really?
And so she works with homeless veterans and homeless people as well.
Oh, wow.
Or people without housing, and she helps them get housed, and she's really dedicated to her work too.
One of the most, important periods of my life were the 2 years I worked with veterans too. Yeah. So that's good. You tell her I said, go for it. So.
I will.
All right, well, look, we got to take another break, okay? But hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Victor Estrada. Victor is a man of many talents. He is an important, very important member of this community. When we come back, I'm going to have him tell you what he thinks you may be able to help with, or what we might need in this community to deal with this issue of addiction. So, hey, Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Victor Estrada. Now, Victor, what do people need to know? What possibly that they can help with? But if you're talking to, you know, all 15 of the people who are watching the show today.
Hopefully there's more than 15. But, you know, one of the things that I just want to get out there is that, like, addiction can affect anybody, right? The disease does not discriminate. It can attack anybody, right? It can start off with a doctor prescribing you pain medication, and when you get cut off from pain medication, you know that disease has been activated in you, and now it wants more. So then people turn to street drugs, right? And that everybody that's on the streets that's living without housing, you know, is not a bad person, you know. And there's been a lot of deaths in our valley, you know, and so, you know, you see it in other cities, you know, people like knock Narcan vending machines. You know, we have Narcan readily available, like at the Alano Club, at the Health District, you know. At DSHS, there's a naloxone box in there, you know, and if you see somebody that's struggling, you know, just remember that they're humans,
right?
You know, that they're not bad people,
made in the image of God, whether you think so or not.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I had a talk a while back, probably about 6-7 years ago, with the pastor, and he asked me, Victor, man, how do you approach people on the streets? And I said, just remember that they're human, right? You know. I don't know. What I can tell you is that, you know, people can overcome addiction, right? It's something that you live with for the rest of your life, you know, and that's why I've been in recovery as long as I've been in recovery, you know, because it's an ongoing process. You know, the day that I stop working on my recovery is the day that I'm setting myself up for failure.
Exactly.
You know, and so, you know, that's why, you know, you see me posting every day, right, on social media.
I think that's great. I love it. I love seeing your stuff.
I use social media for hope. I don't use it to talk crap. I don't use it for politics. I use it to inspire people. You know, I just want one person to see my Facebook page and say, man, if it wasn't for that post today, I wouldn't be alive.
It's possible. And how long do you have to stay clean?
For the rest of my life.
No.
Yeah, for the day. Yeah. but my goal is to die clean. You know, and so 10 years and some months ago, I made a decision that this was something I was going to do for the rest of my life. You know, and that means going to meetings on a daily basis. I go to meetings about 9 to 11 meetings a week. You know, I make time for my sponsees. I make time for my friends. I make time for my wife. You know, and I just live a busy life. You know, I look at it like this, right? I use drugs every day, so I have to recover every day.
And now you have time every day. So, okay. Victor, thank you very much for filling in today. Appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you.
Always good to see you. Proud,
see you too,
man. Can't even talk. Can't even say it. But hey, I appreciate you tuning in today. Appreciate you listening to Victor. He's a great guy. And I appreciate very much you tuning into this show. But look, got a great show next week coming up. A couple of real good theater opportunities I'm going to tell you about. But hey, keep talking other stuff. You have a great day. See you next week. Bye-bye.